Alright guys, Squad version 3.3 is finally here, and I'm unofficially dubbing it the Flood Update, in which you will get more information on shortly. But let's jump right into it. Tomorrow we are releasing the Squad 3.3 update. We'll focus on bug fixes, gameplay, and user interface. That's UI updates, map updates, and overall focus, quality of life improvements for the game. Awesome. This includes an update to the vehicle recovery system to allow helicopters and some other vehicles to be reset. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I was a little excited, but maybe they added more to it. We'll get down to it when we get to it. The addition of new Russian MTLB amphibious variant will introduce a new HUD toggleable list for squad leaders to see the status of each member of the squad, and many more small changes we hope you'll appreciate. Awesome. Well, it looks pretty meaty, so I guess let's just jump into it. Extra attention for the 3.3 update. The game will automatically force clear your settings cache on launch due to changes in the settings backend not being compatible with the old config files. Preserving pre-V3.3 settings files can result in misconfigured unintended game settings. Make sure you review and configure your settings after installing the update. So right now, what you need to do, you need to go in your squad, hit Windows, Shift, and S, and screenshot all your sensitivities, all your special settings that you have, because they're going away. That's essentially what that means. So once you've done that, come back to the video and we'll continue. All right, system gameplay updates. Updated the vehicle recovery system to also allow helicopters and some other vehicles to now be reset. The ability to push rib boats, motorcycles, helicopters to get them out of difficult positions. For example, you can push rib boats back into the water after beaching them. I've used that. It works. Is it still going to reset randomly when you try to do it? Probably. A good chance. Helicopter recovery requires the helicopter engine to be turned off. A tooltip in the recovery UI will inform the player to turn the engine off before trying to use vehicle recovery. Push vehicle wait time is 8 seconds, so you can't do it repeatedly. Initial vehicle reset recovery wait time is 30 seconds. Consecutive attempts to reset a vehicle within a 15-second window since the last reset attempt will now take 8 seconds and be more forgiving when needing multiple reset attempts. Thank you, OWI. Thank you. That is from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As someone who flips vehicles sober and drunk, my God, that is a game changer. That is quality of life right there. We can just stop. Patch notes are over with. I don't need anything more. But we're going to continue. Added a new Russian MTLB amphibious logistics variant. Carries 1,000 construction, 1,000 ammo points. Can deploy fob radios. Enclosed turret with PKT 762. Machine gun with limited ammo. No crewman requirements. Currently available on Narva Invasion V5, which we'll talk about, and Scorpio Invasion V4. It's an MTLB with logistics ability. It's the first logistics truck with a turd on it. We're getting somewhere, all right? Devs are listening. Fixed a desync where demolition charges and IEDs could apply damage several seconds before VFX and SFX played. Awesome. That's essentially when the radio goes down, but you might not see the visual or sound effect. You might hear the sound, but no boom. That's essentially what that helps to cure. Improve the drag calculation for amphibious vehicles. This mainly addresses issues with vehicle entering body waters at high speeds, which includes fixing an infrequent client/server crash. Okay. Updated the radio menu UI for picking up AT mines to show a message that the player cannot pick one up. So if you got mines in your back and you can't pick up another one, it'll tell you now that you cannot. Update the hell cannon placement to use precision compass mode. And adjusted the turning speed to match the turn speed of mortars. Cool. Optimized scope blur components by disabling local updates for scope blur components on other players. Optimize overall performance and fix some hitches related to audio by offloading audio decompression to a separate engine thread. Okay. Refactored vehicle water movement code. Okay, that's good stuff. Not bad. UI updates added a new HUD squad list. Okay, this is something new to me. This hideable HUD is intended to give squad leaders a quick access to critical status information in each squad, such as player names, very critical, roles, somewhat critical, in-cap KA status, critical, whether they are inside of a vehicle, and whether they are speaking on VoIP. Okay, this is going to be exciting to see. The HUD squad list can be hidden using the Y key. It can be configurable under the settings, controls, general. Awesome. Design intention. The HUD squad list is intended to aid squad communication, coordination, and cohesion by ensuring you know who is in your squad and what fire team they are in, what kit they are using, and their current status without needing to break the game flow by opening the deployment screen. I appreciate that. As someone who squad leads, that's nice to find. It's a pain in the ass, but I've almost gotten it down pretty fast, so it's going to take me some time to learn this new method. This will help improve SL situational awareness while remaining minimalistic and staying out of the way of the game's visuals. Cool. Okay, that's an exciting one. Yeah, that's like a direct quality of life improvement to the squad leads. I appreciate that. Update the appearance of VoIP speakers list on the HUD, which will now display above the HUD squad list when it is open. Interesting, so no more asking who said that. Updated player directional map icons when fully zoomed out. These are now shown as simple dot icons. This is intended to help declutter the map and mind. OWI, decluttering the mind and map, apparently. Updated the map capture point flag icon opacity to be more opaque, prominent when the map is fully zoomed out, fading in as you zoom in closer. Okay, cool. I like that. That essentially means the map icon is not going to cover the entire point, so you can get a little bit more precision when you're placing marks or whatever it may be. Adjusted map capture name text to remain fully opaque at all zoom levels. Cool. Updated the pre-match game mode animation to help better inform the players of the current game mode objectives. Cool. Might have to turn those on to see what it's like. Updated the fob radio icon to show build exclusion radius when hovered over with the mouse when toggle viewing fob radii under map setting is toggled off. Interesting. So now essentially what that means is that button that I have all the new players turn on, it looks like you don't have to have it on now. So if you want to declutter the map and the mind, you can just hover your mouse over it and it'll show you the fob radii as you hover over that radio, or if I'm understanding that correctly. Awesome. Very quality of life. Updated the fob radio mark icon to show construction ammo supply when hovered over with mouse. When toggle viewing fob supply points, map is setting turned off. Once again, OWI decluttering the map and the mind by turning off the construction ammunition indication. Cool. Updated the red enemy fob radio map marker to show build / exclusion radius when hovered over the mouse. Oh, okay. So now when you put an enemy radio mark, it's going to show you you won't have to ask for a yellow icon, or you won't have to ask for a radius. It looks like if you just hover over it, you can see exactly where it is. That's a good stress off the squad leader's end. I like that. Adjusted the red enemy fob and HAB map markers to no longer fade out over time. Cool. They will now remain visible on the map until manually removed. Oh, that's nice. So just like it says, fob and HAB icons will not fade out. Very quality of life. Very, very, very decluttered. My mind is now truly decluttered. Thank you, OWI. General bug fixes. Fix a crash client with whatever that is. Okay. Fixed a gameplay issue with deployable placements, which caused their cost construction points to be deducted before the placement was fully validated. This sometimes resulted in a loss of construction points without spawning a deployable. That's been in the game for a while. I'm glad that's gone. It's not common that happens, but glad to see that gone. Fixed a visual issue with the BMP-2 and BFV guided missile having blinding smoke from first person when firing, preventing the effective in-flight guidance. Essentially, the smoke would be just too blinding and you couldn't even use the missile. So good to see that's fixed. Fixed a visual issue with the S5 rocket trails having big Dragon Ball flames. That seems like a something we wanted. Damn shame. ADS sway not being tuned correctly. Fix the gameplay issue with T72. Both B3 and S variants. T62 would cause them to burn at 4 times the rate than other MBTs when under 10% threshold. Awesome. Fixed an issue with health repair limit for the hand repair tool, which prevented players from being able to repair the technicals above the burning threshold. Interesting. Fixed an issue gameplay with ammo box indication when a player was at an ammo box selecting options. If player B walked between player A and the ammo box, player A's radio menu would close, frequently causing a player to accidentally shoot and possibly killing the teammate due to trying to click an option in the radio interaction menu. Awesome. That's a very old legacy bug. Good to see that out of here. Fixed a gameplay issue with the Cafe Love Jeeps unintentionally having Commander Action Activation Zone compartment, which resulted in Commander being able to use for actions near them. Damn shame that's gone. That sounds very cool for the Canadians. Fixed a gameplay issue with amphibious vehicle movements in ankle-deep water. Amphibious vehicles were able to drive extremely quickly in ankle-deep water due to water thrusters activating prematurely. Interesting. So now the vehicles are going to be slower in ankle-deep water? I mean, it's ankle-deep water. It's not that deep, but you can still drive at a decent speed. Not sure I like that one. Fixed a visual issue with third-person sprinting animation while the weapon was lowered, which has sometimes caused the weapon to be lower than intended. I've seen that one. That one's hilarious. Fixed a visual issue with the engine destruction VFX explosion cloud sticking to vehicles when moving. you gotta hate it when the smoke cloud sticks to your vehicle. It's it's the worst. Am I right? Fixed an issue with anti-tank mines where they could be dug down beneath the road meshes, hiding their pressure plates, thus making them invisible. As vehicles are intended to always have a small visual indication of the threat of a mine, they will now always have their pressure plate visible when fully dug down. Interesting. Curious on how they got that worked out, but that's very cool. That's everyone's gonna love that. Everybody liked that. Good job, OWI. Fixed a gameplay issue with the USMC Lab 25 Woodland variant turret not passing damage onto the vehicle. Awesome. Let's hope that stays this way this time. Fixed a visual issue with the USMC small spotting rifle used RPG backblast VFX. That sounds awful. You go to shoot that little 9mm round and then you have RPG backblast. That's not good. Fixed various issues and improved the back end of our graphics menu to fix bugs related to proper application of various settings, various scenarios, fixed improperly defined setting values, all that stuff by developers in the future. Fixed a UI issue with IEDs which unintentionally showed a press F to interact message. Fixed a gameplay issue with the UMC M1A1 turret armor thickness being incorrectly configured. I actually know about this one specifically. Funky Fred, if you're watching the video, shout out to you, homie. That's all you. And what I believe that essentially was, I could be wrong here, he'll yell at me, but essentially the rear cheek armor was the front cheek armor's thickness value, and the front cheek was the rear cheek thickness value, which sounds stupid and minimal, but trust me, it does have gameplay effects, especially when you're trying to make an angled shot or a non-angled shot. So hopefully we get a little more survivability and a little bit more tankiness out of the tank. All right, now we get to the nitty gritty, the good stuff. Map updates and bug fixes. Optimize Anvil Black Coast Lashkar map layers by disabling unused AI system. That's good. Updated the material settings to 2-2-2-sided for multiple static environment assets. Okay. Updated the optimized reflection captured and resaved map layers, which could cause excessive file size. Cool. Fixed a collision on the Eastern European stone _ wall set, so collision orientation aligned with the mesh on XYZ axis. This mismatch caused issues when the mesh was resized. All right. Cool. Good to know. Anvil. Fixed a minor issue. Fixed gaps behind cliff and rubble pile. Black Coast, added new layer. Black Coast invasion before. Gonna have to look into that. Sounds fun. Fixed a material slot on map. Place chain factors. Okay. Not much for Black Coast. I expected a little more. Black Coast is definitely the outlier, but maybe these optimizations up here improves the FPS for everyone. Fallujah reworked barbed wire and pain volumes from MEA due to them glitching players. Updated the river to use new water system. River depth is now waist deep. Cocan. Interesting. So that's cool. I like that. I mean, yeah, I like that. Cocan's a great map. They used to be maybe knee deep, maybe ankle deep. Now it's waist deep. Cool. We're getting to the flood update. That's what I'm saying. Manic 5 fixed an issue with a rocky piece of terrain that had no collision on that grid. Fixed several floating sidewalks. Always good, but I believe floating sidewalks are a norm in Canada. Could be wrong. Fixed several issues at grid H10. That one, which had a problem. Fixed an issue with water plane, which was showing above the landscape at Easter Dam. Okay. Mudaha updated here we go. Updated the new river to use the new water system. The river below the dam is now waist deep. Okay, the river above the dam requires amphibious vehicles to cross with the exception of the northern edge. Okay, so that's kind of disappointing. I expected more from Mudaha. What essentially that means is I will put a map up here somewhere and just say that in this area it's going to be deep, and in this area it's not going to be deep. And as you can see, it's really not going to matter. But now the river is going to be waist deep. The majority of the river is going to be waist deep, which is nice. People are going to move slower. It's not going to be as viable of a method. Updated the minimap to reflect changes and water depth. Cool. Fixed an issue with the collision on urban residential building set to prevent exploitable placements of HABs inside inaccessible rooms. All right. Ooh, baby. Now the very good stuff. Narva added 2 new map layers: Narva Invasion V5 and Narva Ras V5. Fighting in tough amphibious operations due to the Narva reservoir flooding. And you guys knew this was coming, but I'm just saying, okay, a bunch of great people came up with this idea at the same time, but I was streaming one day and Tim comes into my chat and say, hey, you know, what would be cool to see in squad? And I said, hey, a flooded Narva would be pretty sweet. Few months later, we're playing a flooded Narva layer. Did I make the layer? Nope. Did I come up with the idea? I helped. Now that's over with. Updated the minimap for flooded and non-flooded layers. It looks great. Wait till you see it. So just to talk a little bit about the flooded Narva layer, it's awesome. It's super fun. I would say the water level is about knee to ankle height on the bridge coming out of US Main. So if you compare it to that, that's what you can kind of expect. It is a little bit of a fight. Yeah, you really gotta play smart. There's only dedicated areas you can put HABs on. It's a ton of fun though. It just turns a great map into like a totally different map, and it's so fun because it took such low effort from the devs to make it, and it exists now. And that's exactly what I want to see for the rest of the squad layer. Like modify them in some way, you know, maybe put snow on Kokan. Yeah, or something, you know, or maybe flood Kokan. A flooded Kokan wouldn't be too bad, but also that's kind of crazy because, you know, Kokan's middle of the desert. I'm sorry, Kohat. I am mistaken. I mix those up all the time. Fix an issue with the house at that grid square having artifact shadow. Fix an issue with the roof at castle preventing exploits. Damn those exploits. Fix an issue with HABs being able to be built inside of a roof of a building in the shipyard. Fix an issue with the building at that grid square to prevent glitching and exploits. Talil outskirts. Update the river to use the new water system. River depth is now waist deep. Fixed an issue with the exposed rock edges. Fixed a floating power pole at that grid square. Fixed a misaligned grass at that grid square. Those damn misaligned grass in the desert. You gotta watch out for them. Awesome. Now to the other good part. Scorpo. Beautiful map. One of my not favorites. This might turn it into one of my favorites. Added a Scorpo invasion layer V3, an amphibious attack by US Marines from the USS Essex. Essentially so just to give an overview of what I remember about the map, the islands to the top have been turned into a Russian spawn point, and you essentially launch an amphibious assault if you're playing as Russia. So for example, this one added Scorpo layer invasion V4, an amphibious attack by Russia launched from the updated Scorpo island. That island to the north was all updated, is movable and drivable. It's sweet. The carrier for US is now in the middle there, so that you do launch from it, and honestly it's a whole different way to play Scorpo, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting, so definitely expect more Scorpo on my server. Update the Scorpo background island to incorporate space for main bases for attacking teams on invasion layers. Awesome. Yeeho, adjust the minimap brightness to be more readable. Very cool. It was a dark map. Fix the floating foliage and rocks on grid square H8 and I8. Cool, cool, cool. Getting towards the end. Server admin updates and fixes. Edit the match results logging into the server log. Awesome. Okay. Well, very cool. SDK updates and bug fixes. Added a button to the ASRAS and invasion graphics to toggle lattice visualization off. Awesome. Updated minimap creation tool to be for better compatibility with the new water system. Shadowed areas can now be shaded differently on the map. The cutoff depth is currently at 200 units. Oh, very cool. So hopefully we get to see more shaded areas on maps, and you'll be able to see what is deep and what is not deep. Updated the vehicle emergency recovery system. Its features were moved from the vehicle class to a component that allows easier recovery settings, customization per vehicles, and sharing between multiple vehicles. It also allows for modders to implement custom vehicle recovery mechanics, i.e. teleport vehicle to main base in an easier way. So that's cool. So modders can now essentially make the mod to where it'll just go back to base. That's sweet. You'll probably never see that in a live game, but cool. Fixed a bug with vehicles spawning their last effect actors in incorrect game world, resulting in these actors being placed in a map. Okay. Added toggle splines button to toggle landscape spline mesh components visibility. Updated the North American building set modular admin building. Okay, curious about that. And added shingle variants of prefab roofs. Okay. And last but not least, clear cache. If you're experiencing issues, go to clear cache. You should not need to clear the cache. As we look up here, it is you need to screenshot your settings or you're going to lose them, because it's going to force clear your settings cache on launch. So I don't think it's necessary, but don't let me tell you otherwise. And that's it, guys. That's the version 3.3 release notes. Some good stuff in there. Tons of quality of life stuff. Nothing game changing, but in my opinion, it was worth it to make this video. When's this video going to come out? I don't know. It's probably going to be late, but yeah, I got about 15 minutes, so I got to get to class. So I'm doing it in the middle of class. It's pretty busy today. Appreciate you guys watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like. It lets me know that my content is good enough. It doesn't have to be the best. I know I'm bottom tier, but I'm out here trying. I'm doing my best. And yeah, definitely check me out on Twitch, guys. I stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And come learn some stuff about Squad. Come hang out. Come talk about guns, games, beer, and of course Squad.